Do you want a strong, lifted, and toned butt? You're not alone. With the right yoga exercises, sculpting a beautiful butt is achievable. The glutes consist of three key muscles: the gluteus maximus, responsible for roundness, and the gluteus medius and minimus, which aid in hip stability and movement. This video introduces the 12 best yoga exercises to target and sculpt your glutes, leading to a more toned posterior. So, whether you're a beginner or an experienced yogi, these poses are a great way to strengthen your glutes. Chair pose, Utkatasana, is an effective yoga pose for strengthening the glutes, particularly the gluteus maximus, while also engaging the thighs, core, and calves. To perform this pose, start by standing with your feet hip-width apart and toes pointing forward. Inhale as you raise your arms overhead with relaxed shoulders. As you exhale, bend your knees and lower your body until your thighs are parallel to the ground. Maintain an even distribution of weight between your feet and activate your core and glutes. Hold the position for a few breaths before returning to a standing position. Warrior 2 pose, Virabhadrasana 2, is another yoga posture that targets the glutes, especially the gluteus medius, along with the thighs, core, and shoulders. To do this pose, start in a wide-legged stance, right foot forward, left foot turned inward. Extend arms parallel to the ground, one over each foot. Bend your right knee at a 90-degree angle, keeping it aligned with your toes. Turn your head to gaze over your right hand. Hold for 30 seconds to 1 minute, breathing deeply. Repeat on the other side. Bridge pose, Satubandhasana, is beneficial for strengthening the glutes, particularly the gluteus maximus, as well as the hamstrings, lower back, and core. To perform this pose, lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground. Place your arms alongside your body with palms facing down. Inhale and lift your hips off the ground, using your glutes to push up. Keep your core engaged and maintain a straight spine. Hold the pose for a few breaths and then lower your hips back down. Crescent moon lunge pose, Anjaneyasana, targets the glutes, especially the gluteus medius, while also working the thighs, core, and shoulders. Begin in a lunge position with your right leg forward and your left leg back. Bend your right knee until it forms a 90-degree angle, with your thigh parallel to the ground. Lower your left leg to the ground and engage your core. Raise your arms overhead with relaxed shoulders. Hold the pose for a few breaths and then repeat on the other side. High lunge pose, Utthita Ashwasankalanasana, engages both the gluteus maximus and medius, as well as the thighs, core, and shoulders. To perform this pose, start in a lunge position with your right leg forward and your left leg back. Bend your right knee until it forms a 90-degree angle, with your thigh parallel to the ground. Keep your left leg straight and engage your core. Reach your arms overhead with relaxed shoulders. Bring your right hand down to the ground beside your right foot and extend your left arm up toward the ceiling. Hold the pose for a few breaths and then switch sides. Goddess pose, Akata Konasana, targets the gluteus medius, along with the thighs, core, and shoulders. Start in a standing position with your feet hip-width apart. Bend your knees and lower your body down into a squat. Bring your hands together in front of your chest in a prayer position. Keep your back straight and your core engaged. Gaze down at the ground in front of you. Hold the pose for 5 to 10 breaths. Fire hydrant pose, Ashwasankalanasana, targets both the gluteus maximus and medius, as well as the hamstrings, core, and lower back. To do this pose, start down on all the 4 limbs. Make sure your knees are directly below your hips, and your arms and wrists are directly below your shoulders. Engage your core and keep your back as flat as possible. Move your right leg away from the body at an angle of 45 degrees and make sure your right knee is at an angle of 90 degrees. After that, lower your leg back towards your body and the starting position. The whole movement is 1 repetition. Do 3 sets of 15 reps each. Repeat on the other side. Half boat pose, Ardha Navasana, engages the glutes, especially the gluteus maximus and medius, as well as the core, hamstrings, and lower back. To perform this pose, sit with your legs extended in front of you. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground, hip-width apart. Lean back slightly and engage your core. Lift your hips off the ground, keeping your back straight and your legs extended. Hold the pose for a few breaths and then lower your hips back down. Crow pose, Bakasana, targets the gluteus maximus, along with the core, shoulders, and arms. To do this pose, start in a plank position with your hands shoulder-width apart and your body in a straight line from your head to your heels. Bring your knees up toward your chest and place your feet on your upper arms. Engage your core and glutes, and lift your hips up, balancing on your hands and feet. Hold the pose for a few breaths and then lower your hips back down. Lord of the Dance pose, Natarajasana, focuses on the gluteus maximus and medius, along with the core, shoulders, arms, and hamstrings. To perform this pose, stand in mountain pose with equal weight on both feet. Shift weight to your right foot, bend the left knee, and lift the foot. Hold the left foot's instep with your left hand. Extend your right arm upward. Lean forward, lifting the left leg higher behind you while extending the right arm forward for balance. Press the left foot into the hand. Fix your gaze on a still point. Hold for 5 to 10 breaths. Return to standing and repeat on the other side. Tree pose, Vrksasana, targets the gluteus medius, along with the core, shoulders, arms, and balance. To perform this pose, stand with your feet hip-width apart. Bend your right leg and place your right foot on the inside of your left thigh, just above your knee. Keep your left leg straight and engage your core. Raise your arms overhead with relaxed shoulders and balance on your left leg and right foot. Extended hand to big toe pose, Uthita Asta Padangasthasana, engages the gluteus maximus and medius, as well as the hamstrings, core, and balance. To perform this pose, stand tall and evenly distribute your weight on both big toe mounds. Firm the left leg without overextending the knee. Bend the right knee and clasp the big toe with the first 2 fingers of your right hand. Press the right foot forward, lifting the chest to maintain the natural curve of the lower back. Tilt your pelvis slightly forward to deepen the stretch in the hamstrings. Ensure both hips are level, avoiding any imbalances. Hold for a few breaths to a couple of minutes, focusing on grounding the left foot during exhales. Release and repeat on the other side. Here are some additional tips for getting the most out of these poses. Start with beginner variations of the poses and gradually work your way up to more advanced versions. Pay attention to your alignment and make sure that you are not putting too much strain on your knees or lower back. Hold each pose for a few breaths and focus on engaging your glutes. Breathe deeply and relax your body as you practice. These poses are all challenging, but they're also incredibly rewarding. With regular practice, you'll start to see and feel the results. Your glutes will become stronger and more toned, and you'll have a better overall sense of balance and flexibility. So what are you waiting for? Start practicing these poses today. I'm glad you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the like button. Namaste.